Well, hi everybody. I'm Debbie. I'm calling from Chicago and I'm a compulsive eater. I'm abstinent today because I do as you all do. I weigh and measure my 3 meals a day from the gray sheet, committing them to my sponsor on time, and I do not eat between those meals, no matter what, good or bad. I place abstinence first as the most important action I take in a day, 3 times a day, 1 meal at a time since November 3rd, 2005. And this is exciting. I don't know if I've been on this meeting before, but there's a lot of familiar faces and some new faces. So that's a great thing. And I was told that this was more or less a beginner's meeting. So I thought what I would do is talk about plan, prepare, and protect. I'll give you a little bit of my background first. I was very skinny as a kid, all the way through most of my life until I got to my 50s. And then I shot up to 216 pounds because some medicine I was put on, the doctor said, well, you know, you probably got to take this for the rest of your life and you're probably going to gain weight. So I could not prove my doctor wrong. I went crazy. All stops were out. I would go to the store, eat on the way home, go back because I ate the family's treat, all this back and forth. And as I was saying, when I was a little kid, I was very skinny. But now that I acknowledge that I'm a compulsive eater, I can look back and see, you know what? This was behavior of a compulsive eater. I would go to the neighbors and ask for goodies. I would choose my friends by the way their parents gave treats after school and all kinds of stuff. But now that I'm in Gray Sheet, I'm very happy to tell you I love my abstinence. I love my food. And if you're brand new, it's going to get better. It really does, until the point where you're like, wow, this is happening to me. I can't believe it. So anyway, let me tell you about what I do for planning, preparing, and protect. And I asked if it was okay if I shared about my backup bag. And I thought, you know what, for new people, that might not be a bad idea. But I have to tell you something. I've been abstinent for 20 years. That backup bag has been with me, evolving over time. And I'll tell you what, I have 3 meals in my backup bag. I won't show the food because it's not something we do, but it's all abstinent food. I have 3 meals: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Is it going to be good? Yeah, I don't think so. Will it be a number 10? No way. But you know what? It's going to be abstinent. And that's the most important thing, because there's always a way to stay abstinent. So I just wanted to tell you what I started out with is I carry a couple of digital scales with me. They're not expensive. I think they were under 20 bucks. And the only problem is they have goofy batteries that you have to buy at a special place because it's, not a common thing. But you know what? Sometimes those die on me. So what do? I got a bag of batteries. I keep those handy because, you never know when it's going to die on you. And then to be extra safe, I have a manual scale, which is like a press scale, like the olden days. If you put your food in it, the gauge goes up. And that's not the most accurate thing, but you know what? It'll get me through being abstinent. It really will. And in addition to that, I have my little metal cups. I don't cup, I weigh and measure, but if worse came to worse, I could get my food correctly because I have those cups, and I can switch just to be, doing it for that day, for that meal, because it's important that I stay abstinent. So that's a part of it. Other things that I carry, it's kind of, I've kind of gone overboard. My backup bag weighs 18 pounds, so you can imagine that I have a lot of stuff in there. I have several collapsible bowls because they take up very little room. And then when you go to a restaurant or wherever you're going to eat your meal, you can pop them open and eat out of a bowl like a civilized person. So that's a good thing. I'll show you one other thing about that manual scale. It has a little bowl for something, we don't eat a lot of, and then it has a bigger bowl, perhaps for a vegetable or a salad or something. And most important of all, I got my gray sheet. I don't remember everything about it, what's on it. I know basically because I eat the same things a lot of times over and over. But you know what? When I have a question, that's handy. Another thing, and this isn't something that's so important anymore, but I have a letter from my doctor, and I used to use it when I was traveling on the airport. And because I would bring my meal or two meals, depending how far I was going to be into the flight. And I had that note, and at first they thought my scale was a bomb or something. They had to do some concoction with it. And then I gave them the letter, and it says simply, Deborah Mamola needs to eat certain foods at certain times. Please allow this food to go with her into the airport. And so that was very simple. I've used it maybe 4 or 5 times, but now it doesn't seem that they care. They're more interested in dangerous stuff, not an old lady that's bringing something to eat for lunch. So that's an easy thing. As far as the backup food goes, I have cans, I have aluminum packets, I have I have cups of stuff. I have a bottle of oil, which would be my fat. And you know what? There's a number of things that I can do with it. But again, I'll tell you, it wasn't my favorite way to eat. But I'm planning, I'm preparing, and I'm protecting. But what I do when I plan to go somewhere, my son lives in the city. I'm out in the suburbs now. So when I go visit him, I automatically bring one meal because I know I'm going to be there for a while. And if I think I'm going to stay for a longer while, not being sure, I make another meal. I've got a couple really nice insulated backpacks that I've worn at retreats and things like that. And I pack that with an ice pack. I got my lunch, I got my dinner. I'm good to go. And I can make those meals nice. I don't have to have a Spartan meal just because I'm eating out. So that's a good thing. I'll go back to my abstinence, and I'll tell you, when I first got abstinent, my sister had been in program for 15 years at the time. And my weight kept going up to 216 pounds. I'm 5'4" and shrinking as we speak, and I am 130 pounds. So I've lost, I think that's 86 pounds or something like that. And I did that in the first 6 months. And when I got abstinent, it was at the Chicago retreat because my sister used to come from Connecticut religiously every year to go to this retreat. And she'd always say, come on, come on. And no, I don't, but give me the gray sheet, okay? No, it comes with a sponsor. So I did not like that at all. I didn't understand. And now I do why I need to be interpreted with my gray sheet, because there's a lot of things in there that maybe people have questions about. And we always say, if you have something you don't agree with or with which you do not understand, please ask your sponsor. And that's how I go about my business. If I have to have a question, I'll call my sponsor. Sometimes there's, an unusual question and she'll have to go to her sponsor. So I'm waiting a day or two to get an answer. And in the meantime, when in doubt, leave it out. By the way, I'll tell you on the website, I want to tell you that a tool we have, there's about 6 pamphlets on there for the newcomer, traveling tips, eating out tips, what to say to a medical professional, all our slogans like when in doubt, leave it out. People, what does that mean? It gives you a little list and kind of gives you a synopsis of what they're trying to say. So those are downloadable. They're free. Keyword is free, and it's a great tool to have, especially the medical one, information to the medical professional. And I have brought that to just about all my doctors because, they always ask you, are you eating well? Are you sleeping well? And I give this to them to show them what kind of program I'm committed to. And if they don't like it, it's not very long. I'm going to stay with that doctor because I need to have my abstinence protected. And if a professional is giving me a hard time about it, I'm gone. Laura, that means I have 4 minutes left. Yeah. Okay. I'll keep going. So anyway, now what could I tell you? Oh, well, I'll tell you about doing service. Reading is the first thing to do. You don't have to have 90 days. After your 90 days, if you're brave enough, you can find a small meeting to lead. And that's a good way of doing service. Any bit of service that you do that gets you involved with other members, at least it strengthens my abstinence. It really does, because of the fact that I'm with others that have the same situation, the same disease, I'll say, as I do. And I have compassion, love, and understanding from the people in the program. But I'll tell you what, if this was a commercial program like Weight Watchers, they don't give you any good vibes. They don't give you any encouragement. It's a shameful thing to have to go up and weigh yourself in front of people. And I would never get involved in a program like that. But the fact of the matter is, Gray Sheet gives you an opportunity to really dig your heels in and go for it as far as coming. As far as new people go, it's difficult to say, what, you're going to go through withdrawal. You'll probably feel kind of sick for the first week or whatever. But after that, you'll see that you get a little more energy. My thoughts cleared up. I was so preoccupied, where am I going to get the next dessert, that I couldn't function, going to the kids' schools and this. And I also didn't want to be that mama that was a fat mama. I just really did not want to be. I'd always been in a skinny body. Even though I am a compulsive eater, I'm going to continue. Tonight, I'm going to have an abstinent meal, and then I don't know what the day brings tomorrow. But the fact of the matter is, I'm going to do my best to weigh and measure every meal one day at a time. And you know what? I really, really love my food. And I think that I've become a better cook because of it. I cook for people that are non-abstinent, and some of the things I make for them, I can make for myself. The only difference is I need to weigh and measure. Then I can bake it. Then I can do this. And that works out really well. I feed my family as many vegetables as I can, because I certainly eat a lot of vegetables, as we all know. And with their diet, there's only a few carbohydrates that they take. And you know what? After 20 years, it really doesn't bother me anymore. It took about 4 years, and I didn't care. I didn't get to tell you the part about when my sister was giving me Blum's Rush to go to the retreat. And I'll finish up. I know I only have 1 more minute, but I went, I got struck abstinent, had a day 1. never looked back after that. I binged my brains out on Halloween, stealing candy from my family, from the kids, and telling them, oh no, your brother took it, and lying. I'm stealing and lying from my kids. So that's pretty bad news as far as I'm concerned. And so I went to the retreat. I met a lot of people. I'll tell you what, you really, really have to look into retreats. They are something else. And we're having a Chicago retreat next August. It's a long way off, but I invite all of you to come. Some people I know are already coming that are on the meeting, so that's exciting. And other than that, I'm done. I'll tell you, I'm interested in hearing what everybody has to say. I put my number in the chat. Sometimes I'm up as early as 4 a.m., so that's only 11 or 10 in Europe. So I call people and I just talk because I can't sleep. So that's the story. And other than that, I take calls from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is 1 hour earlier than the East Coast. So other than that, I'm done. I'm anxious to hear other people share. And thanks for letting me do this. I really enjoyed it, no matter what.